Do you have any stories from nursing, like a story from nursing that really like affected your life in the way you view, maybe the most moving or enlightening or story from when you were a nurse, an interaction with a patient or something?
I recall a private duty person that I was taking care of in Mountainside Hospital. I was probably in my early 60s. I was still working. No, it wasn't either. It was earlier than that because I was working staff. The last 15 years of my life, I worked private duty. So it was earlier than that. And I was haunted by this man, but I didn't do anything about it, but I should have. I think I should have, but I thought I would be out of place. It wouldn't be right for me to deal ethically with this.
And what was the situation?
I had a patient who was a priest, and he had spent many, many years in different countries, suffering high blood pressure and all of its effects. And he was a patient in the hospital, and I was assigned to take care of him. I was doing private duty too. I'm pretty sure I was. But he was not afraid to die. And he had all symptoms that he couldn't live. But I felt so bad for him because he stressed so much that he didn't want them to keep doing what they were doing to him. Trying to do dialysis every 24 hours and all this. And I felt so bad for him because he couldn't seem to get his message over to the doctors that he didn't want to be treated like a slab of meat. In other words, that he was perfectly willing for them to let him alone, but he couldn't get the message through to them. And I often thought later I should have forced the issue with the doctor in the room, let him tell him that he wanted to be left alone and stop trying to make him well, because he was just suffering more and more. And I sometimes get haunted by the father's life lasted longer than he would have to painfully. And that's one reason I feel like I do about the advanced.
About what?
The advanced directive.
Oh, the DNR.
But it has been changed some because they do ask for the permission now, which they didn't at that time. And I was haunted by him, that here he had served the people of it was in Africa or somewhere like that he had spent his whole time there. And knowing that he had the high blood pressure, but that as people, it's a painless, and it's a disease that you don't know is happening till it's too late for kidney blockage, that is. And then they devised this dialysis thing. They had used every vein that he had available, and they were going to go do a cut down so that they could continue this process, because this doctor had to make him well. And I think that's one of the things that bothered me. Left over, continuing something which is useless.